Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're breaking down a pretty wild diet trend. Eating just one meal a day. Yeah, you heard that right. It's called OMAD, and it's getting a ton of buzz.
Okay, look at this number, 73%. That's how many Americans are overweight or obese right now. It's staggering, right? We're all told, eat 3 square meals a day, have some snacks. But for a huge number of people, something is clearly not working.
And that brings up a really fundamental question. Maybe, just maybe, the problem isn't only what we're eating. What if it's how often we're eating? This one idea, it flips decades of nutritional advice completely on its head. So, let's get on the same page. What exactly is OMAD? Well, it's pretty much what it sounds like. You eat all your calories for the day in one single hour, and then you fast for the other 23 hours. Now, the key here is it's not really about cutting calories. It's all about cutting down the time you spend eating. Kind of like how our ancestors might have eaten, way before there was a fridge in every kitchen and a drive-thru on every corner.
All right, so why on earth would anyone do this? Let's dive into the genius side of OMAD first. We're going to look at the fascinating science that makes this seem like a total game changer for rewiring your body.
Okay, to really get OMAD, you have to get insulin. Think of insulin like a traffic cop for your energy. And it's a cop that almost always directs traffic to one place, your fat stores. Every single time you eat, breakfast, a snack, lunch, insulin spikes and yells, "Store that fat." So on a typical day, you're getting 5 or more of those spikes, basically keeping the fat storage sign lit up all day. But with OMAD, you get just one single spike.
So why does that one spike matter so much? Well, imagine your body has 2 different fuel tanks. Most of us, we run on the first tank, glucose. It's like throwing newspaper on a fire. It burns super hot and super fast, and you're constantly needing to add more. But there's this other, huge fuel tank, fat. And that's like hardwood. It burns slow, cool, and for a really long time. What OMAD does is it forces your body to stop scrambling for newspaper and finally tap into that giant log of hardwood.
And just how much of this hardwood fuel do we actually have? A lot. Even a pretty lean person has over 100,000 calories just sitting there, stored as body fat. That is a massive amount of energy. The key to unlocking it, to actually using it, is to keep that insulin traffic cop away. And that's exactly what a 23-hour fast does. It flips the switch from store fat to burn fat. So here's how that amazing switch actually happens. After about 12 hours or so without food, your newspaper fuel tank, that easy-access glucose, it runs dry. That's the signal for your liver to kick into gear. It starts taking your stored body fat and turning it into this awesome alternative fuel called ketones. And when you do this consistently, your body becomes what's called metabolically flexible. It gets really, really good at switching between burning sugar and burning fat. You basically become a fat-burning machine.
And listen, this isn't just some theory on a whiteboard. Check out this real-world example. Sarah, a teacher, lost 45 pounds in 6 months while still eating things like pizza, burgers, and even ice cream. How is that possible? Because she wasn't focused on what she ate, she was focused on when she ate. She essentially programmed her body to burn its own fat for 23 hours a day.
But wait, there's more. The benefits might go way beyond just losing weight. OMAD also kicks off this incredible process called autophagy. You can think of it as your body's internal spring cleaning crew. It goes around, finds old, damaged parts of your cells, and recycles them. It's amazing. The research on this actually won a Nobel Prize, and scientists believe it can help reduce inflammation and maybe even slow down parts of the aging process. And guess when this process really ramps up? Right in that 16 to 24-hour fasting window that OMAD uses.
So, let's recap. We've got incredible fat loss, cellular spring cleaning, and you can still eat pizza. I mean, it sounds way too good to be true, right? And you know what they say, if something sounds too good to be true, it probably is. So what's the catch?
Okay, now we have to flip the coin over and look at the other side. Because a tool this powerful, well, it can also be pretty dangerous if you don't use it the right way.
The physical challenges are, honestly, pretty big. First off, your digestive system just wasn't designed to handle 2,000 plus calories all at once in a single hour. That can lead to some serious bloating and acid reflux. Not fun. Then there's just the logistics of it. Trying to cram all your essential vitamins, minerals, and fiber into one meal, it's a huge challenge. And this next one is critical, protein. Your body can only absorb about 25 to 35 grams of protein per hour. Anything more than that, and it might just go to waste because the pathways in your gut get overloaded. That's a big deal for keeping your muscles strong.
And it's not just physical.
there are some major social and mental hurdles. Think about it. So much of our culture is built around food. Business lunches, dinners with family, going out on dates. It gets old really fast having to explain why you're the only one not eating. But more seriously, for people who are susceptible, this level of restriction can become obsessive. It can trigger a really unhealthy relationship with food. So let's be super clear. OMAD is absolutely not for everyone. Pregnant women, kids, the elderly, they should avoid it.
Okay, so we've looked at the genius and we've looked at the danger. Where does that leave us? What's the final verdict here?
You know, at the end of the day, OMAD isn't just good or bad. It's a tool, a very powerful tool, but not a magic bullet. In one column, you have the amazing potential for burning fat and that cellular cleanup process, autophagy. But in the other column, you've got the reality of digestive problems, the risk of not getting enough nutrients, and how tough it is to maintain socially. It's a trade-off, and you have to weigh it really carefully.
This is probably the most important takeaway. The people who find success with OMAD long-term, they don't treat it like some rigid, punishing diet. They treat it as a flexible lifestyle. They learn to listen to their bodies, they'll adjust the schedule for a special occasion, and most importantly, and I can't stress this enough, they talk to their doctor before starting something this extreme.
So the real question here isn't just, does OMAD work on paper? The question is, could it actually work for you in your life? And that leaves us with this final thought to chew on. Could you realistically eat all of your food for the entire day in just 1 hour and fast for the other 23? That's the million-dollar question, isn't it?